no doubt cold by now. Nearly half the morning was gone, and still she couldn't bring herself to stir. Twice already Basia had come to the door, urging her to eat and offering to help her make preparations for tomorrow's opening of the gathering, and twice Senel had put her off. The third time couldn't be far off. Again she read the note, as she had perhaps a dozen times already. It was a dismissal, cold and disdainful. Little more and nothing less. She wasn't sure what she had expected. Not much, to be sure. More than this, though. She needed more than this. The idea of writing the letter had come to her late in the fall, during one of Baden's frequent visits to Amarid. He had come to the First Mage's city to continue his conversations with Baram, the Outlander. But each of Baden's visits had seen the Owlmaster and the Owl Sage spending greater amounts of time together, and Senel's recollection of this particular occasion remained vivid and brought a smile to her lips, even as she continued to stare at the note from Lon-Ser. Before that visit, it had been several years since she had lain with any man, and several more since she had passed a night with Baden. Her smile deepened, then faded as the memory moved past their lovemaking to what followed. Lying together in these very quarters, as the glow of the moon seeped through the translucent white windows and illuminated the tangle of sheets and bare limbs, Senel had shared with Baden her frustration with the Order's inaction. 4 years had gone by since Sartol, the renegade Owlmaster, was destroyed in the Great Hall by the combined might of the Order, and since the band of Outlanders with which Sartol allied himself was defeated at Phelan's Spur. In the intervening years, she had tried to compel the Order to address the threat posed by Lon-Ser, but every plan of action she proposed or supported drew fierce opposition from a small but outspoken faction of older mages and masters. A majority of the Order agreed that some action was warranted, but Senel had been unable to win support for any specific plan. The problem persisted even after Owlmaster Odinon's death, just before last summer's gathering, robbed the older mages of their most impassioned voice. If anything, Odinon's passing seemed to reinvigorate his allies, prompting them to act, or not, in his memory. With the venerable Owlmaster gone, a new leader emerged. Erland might have been less revered than Odinon, but he had proven himself an energetic and persuasive spokesman. "We haven't done a thing," Senel said on that autumn night, lying with Baden. She had been unable to keep the desperation from her voice as she passed a hand through her hair. "For all we know, there's already another group of Outlanders in Tobyn-Ser, and we've done nothing." Baden cleared his throat before astonishing her with a confidence of his own. "They may be planning something," he told her, taking her hand. "They may even be on their way. But they're not here yet. That much we do know." In this way, Senel first learned of the thought link Baden and his friends had formed in western Tobyn-Ser. It was an old magic, first developed by Amarid himself after the death of Theron, his friend and rival, and the departure from Tobyn-Ser of Theron's followers. The first mage had feared that the Owlmaster's disciples would return, seeking to avenge their leader, and he established a link among all the land's remaining mages, a web of consciousness that monitored the land's borders. Even after the first mage died several decades later, the Order continued to maintain it. For nearly 300 years, Amarid's thought link guarded the land, but such magic demanded a tremendous expenditure of power that drained both mage and familiar. Eventually, their vigilance slackened, until the link ceased to exist altogether. Now Baden and his allies had created a similar link in western Tobyn-Ser, more limited, to be sure, but, if formed correctly, no less effective than Amarid's, and they had done so without proper authority. The Order had rejected the re-establishment of the thought link as an option several times over the past few years, though the issue continued to be a point of bitter contention among the mages. For a time before they learned that Outlanders